anyone who does not know me, I'm Alfyn. I'm your local real estate professional here in Reno and Sparks. And for anyone who does not know Jeremiah, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Jeremiah. I'm a loan officer with Guild in Reno Sparks as well.
Yes. So, what we're going to talk about today is just an update. What's going on in real estate? What are the most asked questions? What's happening? And yeah, and if you're live, you're tuning in now or later, just go ahead and comment below. We'd love to answer it live or we'll answer it later.
Yeah,
Because I know it's
either way.
probably lunch for everybody or a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, Jeremiah, let's talk about rates. I know, you probably get this a million times. How's the rate going? What type of market it is? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, the rates are sitting around like the high fives to like the mid sixes. So we're seeing like yesterday, like we locked someone in at a 5.75. So it's not bad. That's under 6%. And then we just quoted around 6.5 this morning for someone else. So the rates are sitting right where I would say is overall like a healthy number still. But what we're starting to see is that home prices have not dipped at all. And that's just simply because we don't have enough homes still. There's like 15 homes or 15 buyers, maybe like 10 homes, right? So it's like a game of musical chairs. But the interest rates themselves are not super far off from where they were at the beginning of the year at this point, which is overall pretty positive. But we'll see. We have major changes happening in the next like 2 weeks, right? We have another Fed meeting coming up next month. We also have a change in leadership and who's running the Federal Reserve. And that's supposed to happen next month too. So I would anticipate there will be some more volatility in the next couple weeks.
So, when you said big change, like, what is that? Like rates or what do you mean?
Yeah, like a big change in terms of how the Federal Reserve might be ran, right? Because if we have new leadership going in, a lot of people that invest into the markets are nervous to what's going to happen to the policy. Maybe they're going to increase things or cut things too quickly, like they just don't know, right? So there's a little bit of skepticism.
Ooh. So, Jeremiah, my question to you, what's your prediction?
Well, I just follow the data, and the data shows that if the war continues and
Mm,
inflation continues, then we will start to see higher interest rates for mortgages again, closer to like 7.5%, which is not super great. But if things start to fizzle out like they're supposed to, which is what
mm-hmm.
everyone is saying, and that's why rates are not as bad as they were initially, right? Then we'll start to see better options come in. So I think that's all to say what is going to happen politically. And I think that's going to determine what happens to the market.
Right. Oh my gosh. I feel like people are definitely on edge. And
Yeah.
Zara, thank you for the hearts. Appreciate it. I know. I'm
So
so
sweet.
Jeremiah update. I was able to figure out how to go live and stream on Instagram. So I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, Arturo, thank you for joining.
Arturo. How fantastic.
Arturo, Jeremiah is from Guild. I don't know if you worked with him before, but Arturo is another agent. So thank you for tuning in.
Work with
Yeah,
me.
there we go. See, I'm like getting
You're a
distracted.
connector.
I know.
But
Jeremiah is
yeah,
amazing.
thank you. And you are too. So I would say like the rates are not bad. I mean, in comparison to where they were, even like just a couple months ago. So I would say if you're worried about the market, I would be worried. If I was a buyer, I would be worried
Mhm.
about house prices, and I would be worried about getting like a seller credit, and I would be worried
Yeah.
about finding the home that I like. I would not be worried about the mortgage market at the moment.
Oh, 100%. Because people are so worried about the rate, but
Mhm.
house pricing is just going up. So, pick your battle. If you're wanting to move and
Yeah.
that's been in your mind and your heart that you want to move because rent keeps going up, well, then make the jump now, right? Lock into the price that you want, that you feel comfortable paying, and the rate will do what it does. And if, it's better, let's say later, then just refinance.
Yeah, and I will say, like, if you're someone that wants like a new home, like you want no work to be done theoretically, and it wanted to be brand new, then new construction has hit a period of time where it is cheaper overall, depends on your market, to buy new construction than resale. And the reason I bring that up is because that's only happened another time in the last like 15 years almost. And it's simply because a lot of these builders have standing inventory right now
Mhm.
because people are not buying them super quickly. So you can get into a really good deal also on a new construction. And I would say, like, that's always a great option if you're looking at just what is available.
100%. So, and I know you mentioned seller credit. For anyone who does not know what seller credit means and what the difference is, like from maybe even a month, 2 months ago to now, like what is seller credit and why it's important to know how it's going in today's market?
Yeah, the seller credit is just simply the seller crediting you closing costs, right? So you have your down payment, which everyone knows about, but everyone forgets of all the fees that are, associated to do the transaction, like the appraisal, your taxes, your insurance, the county fees, like all this stuff, right? So the seller can credit you funds to pay for those at the very end. So you, as a buyer, don't have to pay for them. But that doesn't always happen if the market is getting spicy, right? Because if you have homes,
Mhm.
right, that are coming on, and they've only been listed for 24 minutes, someone's not going to give them a seller credit.
Yeah, and so I'm seeing that now. So there's two ways a home gets sold, right? One is pricing, two is the marketing. So if you are hitting those points and you're hitting the market as a seller, and then buyers are eating it up, and then you as a seller, since it's new in the market, you're most likely not offering any seller credit. And so buyers are kind of like, I feel like there's a little bit of shock
Yeah.
for buyers that have been shopping the last couple months and now like, oh yeah, I want to make this move, I want to go buy soon, but they wait on it. Next thing you know, they're getting kind of beat.
Yeah.
so so
They're getting beat up.
yes, if you are interested in a home and you really like it, don't wait 2 days, don't wait a week because it might be gone by then. So, for buyers that are looking right now, those are probably one of the, main things, suggestions. Like, let's not wait till, the weekend. Like, if you have time after work, like, look at the house, like, soon, ASAP.
Yeah, I mean, I just had another client recently that reached out about 2 weeks ago. And she's like, my lease is ending and it's going up $200 and I don't want to renew. Right. So we get her approved. Right. But she didn't do anything in time.
Hmm.
She was scrambling to find a home and scrambling this and scrambling that. Right. And so she ended up just renewing her lease for another year. It's
Yikes.
because you have to think. You can't just say, "Oh gosh, my lease is ending. Now I need to go buy a house tomorrow." Like it doesn't work like that, right? Like it's also
Mm-mm.
like a lot of it's a lot of stuff that you have to make sure you're good to go, right? But also not a lot. Just get your docs, get pre-approved, and then talk to Alfyn.
There you go. And then I love that you said that regarding the rent and rent going up, because I feel like recently there's a lot of people, hey, I want to get out of this lease, it's coming up soon. Well, the best time is up to 6 months prior to your lease ending to start working on stuff, because it's not going to happen so quick, right? Because once we give you over to Jeremiah first step, Jeremiah's going to be able to see like, hey, no, you need like maybe 2 months, 3 months, 5, 6 months to work on stuff. So if you're watching this now or later and your lease is coming up in the next couple months, best time to start is yesterday. So, get it started unless you want to stay with your rent and your rent keeps going up. Let's start building your equity. And then what I always tell people, your first home doesn't have to be your dream home.
And it
Just start
shouldn't be.
somewhere. Yeah.
It
So I feel like
shouldn't be.
people are so stuck with that, and that's what's holding a lot of people back because they're I want a Toll Brothers, but then it's like, what do you need to do to get there, right? Let's start where you need to be. Yeah, because I feel like, man, people are not moving forward because of the idea of this dream home. But we can definitely get you there. We just need a good plan.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're below like 75, you should not be buying your first home as your dream home. Like, there's no reason if you're like 23 years old and you're like, this is the dream home. Like, that's a problem because you're going to move in a couple years because you're going to grow up and you're going to be like, I don't know if I want to stay here anymore. Maybe I met someone. Maybe I got a dog, like whatever it is. Your first home is never going to be your last. And if it is, that's fine. But like 99.9% of people move eventually,
And
right?
that's just
So
data. It's
just
not
the
our
data.
feelings. It's not our feelings or thoughts. It's what's
The data.
happening. It
Yeah.
really is data. If you look at your family or your friend's family and stuff like that, have they stayed in a home one time forever?
No.
Yeah, right. So typically, data shows 4 to 5 years is when things change. Your family's growing, life changes, life is lifing. So yeah,
Yeah. So I'd recommend just get started. You're not going to be there forever. But if you don't make any moves, then you'll rent forever. And that's
there
not
you
fun.
go. All right. Well, other than that, do you have any final thoughts, Jeremiah?
No, just call me and call you.
Yeah, call Jeremiah. Let's get you started. Let's get it planned out because, hey, if you want a home by the holidays, the time to get started is
Wow.
now. You'll have time to decorate. You'll have time to, get your home situated and have your whole family by Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Yeah. If I wanted to move into a new house by the holidays, I would start shopping like next
Now,
week. Yeah.
absolutely. All right. Well,
Okay.
if you guys have any questions, drop it in the comments below. Give us a follow and give us a like. Thank you.
Okay. Bye. See you.
Bye.